Hey, this is David Bader from Arabon, and we're a ministry that equips organizations and churches with the tools for reconciliation with cultural intelligence. And we've been on a 5-part series called 5 Christian Practices for Leading in Divided Times. Practice number 1 was broaden your vision of the kingdom of God. Practice number 2 was pray in proximity. Practice number 3 was shepherd people of diverse experiences. And practice number 4 was learn to lament. Now we're finally at practice number 5, doing what God requires of us. One of the things that I find comforting in my relationship with God is that the word Israel means one that wrestles with God. See, the story of the Old Testament is the story of the people of God forming and wrestling with God. God is a good father, and he has high expectations for his children. And the story of the Old Testament is that they didn't always live up to his expectations. One of the things that we can learn from reading the Old Testament is to understand what is it that God requires of us. It was one of those low points in the history of Israel where God was about to present a case against Israel, and he said, hey, let me be clear about what it is that I expect of you. I want to take the time to read Micah 6:8, and this is what it says. He has shown you, O mortal, what is good, and what does the Lord require of you? To act justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God. This expectation to walk justly, it's going to take us really comprehending the scriptures of both the Old Testament and the New Testament. It's also going to require us to be in diverse relationships so that we can understand there are different types of injustices going on and different ways that we could even be participating in it. And if we're going to engage seriously with walking justly, then we're going to need mercy, because none of us are going to be 100% innocent. And we're also going to need to extend mercy to people who might be engaging in injustices against us. All of this requires humility as we walk with God. You know, there might be some people out there that might say, Micah 6:8, that's in the Old Testament. You know, that's not what God requires to people in the New Testament. We follow Jesus now. Well, Jesus was asked by the Pharisees, he says, what is the greatest commandment? And Jesus said to love God with your heart, your soul, your mind, and the strength. And then he says there's one that's similar to that, that is number 2, but a really close second, and that is to love your neighbor as yourself. Whether we look through the lens of Micah 6:8 or we look through the lens of the greatest commandment, what's unique and distinct for the people of God is that our loving God is interconnected with our practice of loving our neighbor who bears the image of God, like the way that we love ourselves. This wrestling with God and this wrestling with faithfulness is what's needed as we lead in divided times. My prayer and hope is that you and your community will continue to go on this journey, and I pray that you go in grace and peace.